stand together and fight this disease.
I've come this way before, traveled through the open door, circumstances navigated the path, and life happened all so fast. No, it got lonely sometimes, you see, I know we couldn't make it, even when I'm offbeat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know life took a hold of me. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a play with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games get played, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. Telling you the truth, hey. It's all in what you do, hey. Some things you gotta do, hey, 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 hey. It's fight the millions, take a second, see the blessing in it. With much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness, yes. You can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine, let them see your brilliance. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it tonight. Oh, for the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm aces. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lack it. Or cancer slowing our road. I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. Yeah.
Give back, give love, give insult to the way. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going soon and fight this final round. Life's a fight for no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Can't get played, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. It's all in what you do, hey. Some things you gotta do, hey, 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 hey. I'm gonna share what I have and get to those in me. So we're gonna win this battle, fight that disease.
No more. What's up, Joe? JP. We gonna call him JQ. Love is the word. G Brown. What's up, KJ? What's up, E-Dub, man? What's up, man? How you feel? How you feel? What's up, Josh? Jeff Smith. Why not? Denzel. What it do? What it do? Willie Beachman. Beachham. What's up? Boxing sparring. What's up? All nothing. About nothing. What it do? What it do? Andrew Charles, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys coming here early. I know the football game is on and all that good stuff is on. Jalen Thompson, AJ McCoy, Mark Wunderlich, Jason Page, man. Thank you guys for coming in here. Let me play the trailer, man. And we'll get the show started. Yeah, I totally appreciate you guys coming in here. Yeah, why not 9 Wives real quick, man? Click the link that's pinned up there in the description box. What's up, Batman? How you feel? How you feel? And we're going to get it off like that.
What?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries. And can you expound on that?
Yeah, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
15 to be exact. 15, man. Welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you guys coming in here early and often, man. I think the NFL game is still going on. They went to overtime. Someone just boxer sparring just said Pittsburgh won. Good game. Good game. Sloppy game. You know what I mean? Sloppy game, but it is what it is, man. And we got a burner tonight, don't we? Man, we got a good show tonight. And should I start with my perspective? Or should I give it in like, I'll wait to give my perspective and like, I'm gonna wait for the room to fill up. You know what I mean? But thank you guys for coming on in, man. Top of the show, Mikey Garcia loses to a man I've never heard of before. Ooh, I don't even know his name right now. What's his name? I mean, I'm not being disrespectful. I should know his name, me being a so-called journalist, right? I don't even know the man's name. So what's the man's name? Can y'all give it to me in the chat, dog? I don't even know his name, dog. He lost to him. And what I want to say is this. And y'all have disputed with me on this for years. I mean, not this year, for about a year now. And I will stand by this. Sandor Martin. Sandor, thank you, boxer. Sandor Martin beat Mikey Garcia last night. And y'all have debated me with this for years. For a year. I don't know why I say years. And one of my problems with Al Heyman, one of my problems with Eddie Hearn, and most recently Bob Arum with Terrence Crawford. But most of the responsibility lies on Al Heyman because he has over 200 fighters, right? Is fighting once a year. Listen, boxing can't be what it should be if these guys are fighting once a year. It just can't. It just can't, dog. And that's why the NFL is so special. The NBA is so special because LeBron James scores 13 points tonight. Tomorrow night, he's flying to Phoenix and he can score 34 points. We done forgot about the 13 points. But in boxing, you have an off night. We get to talk about it for a year, 9 months minimum, you know, and then you get lackluster performances. You understand? What's up, Picasso? Make sure you get to your destination safely. It's Mikey Garcia, 20 months. Jamel Charlo, 10 months. Jamal Charlo, 9 months. Right? Everyone has performed badly. Andy Ruiz, terrible. Tony Harrison, although I will put an asterisk by his name because his dad passed. Terrible. 14 months. Caleb Plant, terrible. A year. Who was that? I missed someone in between. But there was a handful. Earl Spence didn't look great by his own admissions, but he coming off a car accident. He was out for a year, so he had some physical ailments. Danny Garcia looked terrible. You know what I mean? Against Earl Spence. We'll see how Terrence Crawford looks. Sean Porter, terrible against Formella, right? And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. There have been a handful of fighters that has looked great. And one being Stevie Fulton. I thought Erickson Lubin looked great. Canelo looked great. And there was one more that I had written down. It was Canelo, Stevie. Oh, Reese Salim. Those are the four guys off the top of my head that has looked extraordinary. And I mean, it's that's just it. Fighters, y'all got to stay active, man. Ugas, thank you. Ugas looked great. Thank you. I thank you for sharing. Ugas. Manny Pacquiao looked terrible. Keith Thurman, terrible. Julian, thank you. The other guy was Julian Williams. Thank you. Julian Williams lost. That's well over 10 fighters I'd have named. You know what I mean? And Jamel, I'm not sure how long Jamel Herring was out. Yeah, Caleb Plant thing. Like we said, Caleb Plant, he looked terrible against Caleb Truett. You know, and the hits just keep going. You know, fighters, you got to stay active. Even if you got to go take a fight in Mexico, even if you got to go fight on a local card in Atlanta, Miami, Atlanta and South Carolina is pushing out some good cards, man. You know what I mean? Oh, they do. They play on Friday, Willie. Yeah, play on Friday. I saw the advertisement. That's what made me think. See how advertising works? I know the Lakers are playing Phoenix on Friday, so I immediately thought of the Phoenix Suns. But yeah, man, I'm opening up the phone lines. I'm not gonna give my dissertation on the racism thing until we all get in here, because I think it's important that we have this conversation together. So we're gonna open up with Mikey Garcia. Like I say, I have no horse in the race as it pertains to Mikey. I didn't watch the fight. What's up, man? How you feel, man? Let me give you some music, man.
My nigga, this is dedication. This is anti-hesitation. This is a real nigga celebration.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, Fred, I'm gonna open up on the racism thing real quick, because these Latinos think they can use the word nigga because they use everything else from us, all of our languages, all of the way, you know, the styles that we dress in. So they think they can use that word now. And that's all the Latinos, Cubans, Mexicans, all these guys. And they think they have the right to use that word. But that's up to us. Because if they use that word around me, they're going to be swallowing their fucking teeth. My generation don't play that. When I look at them, I look right through them. They are not black. They have no business using that word. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, what do you think?
I always say I grew up in New York. It's a completely different culture in the Bronx, you know. And if you want to fight over that word, be my guest. But yesterday was a different example. It was a different because it was on a platform where I had to stand up for being black. And yesterday, I think the Haney should have responded. You didn't deter the man. I think that there becomes a point where you got to choose consciousness over commerce. And I think they were so steadfast on making money and planning, which is making the fight, that they just deemed the disrespect as not as important. And I mean, you guys know me by now. I have to respond with equal or greater force because the world is watching. I just have to. I have to. And I've been this person since you guys have met me, whether you knew me when I had 100 subscribers or now you know me, I got close to 100,000. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You know, I had to respond in that moment and tell them to stop. And it would have been a warning, and then it probably would have been some type of strong gesture, you know.
No, but that's the only way they will stop. I mean, back in my day, if they ever even tried that, they'd be laid out waiting for a stretcher. And this generation now thinks they can get away with it. It's up to the individual to stop them. Once you swallow in your fucking teeth, you ain't gonna use that shit no more around no real nigga. We don't play that shit. If you ain't black, you keep your fucking mouth shut, you goddamn cockroach, or get exterminated. You know? But going back to fighting once a year, it's not necessarily just fighting once a year. It's what are you doing in that year? You're eating ribs, you know, you know, you're out at the club, you're eating all these sweets, you're partying. They're not working out, they're not in the gym, they're not sparring. Look what happened to Keith Thurman after he got married. Remember that? Remember his body?
Very much so.
That's what they're doing. Danny Garcia the same way, man. Danny was doing the same thing Keith was doing. See, and that's just human nature. If you're not boxing, then you're not boxing. You're at the casino. You're going out with your girl. You're spending your money. They figure, hey, I worked hard for this money. I might as well enjoy it, right? Mm-hmm. That's human nature. So they're not putting the work in. That's what I told you. It's a mindset, man. Mm-hmm. I live this shit every day. Like I wash my face every day, like I take a shower. That's how I approach it. I had to all my life. That's how I know when I step to a nigga, you can't whoop me, man. I do this shit for a living. You know, this is my life, my reflexes, everything. This is it. This ain't no game. You know? You know, when I whoop your fucking bodyguard, nigga, I'm sending you a message, motherfucker. You better be shitting your pants, motherfucker. I just knocked your bodyguard out, bitch. And I ain't even breaking a sweat. You feel me, brother?
I feel you.
So these guys, they don't approach it that way. It's a job to them, man. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. I mean, what's your take on that?
I don't think there's a wrong way to respond to it based off of your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I'll give an example. I remember when I was 18, my cousin Maurice stopped me from beating up this white man. I went to Cal Baptist my first year, so I was in Riverside. And I remember about 3 years ago, though my last altercation with this was about 4 years ago. Do you remember that young lady Shantae that was on the
the
show?
One who got shot in her car?
No, the one that was she was a guest on. She was a guest.
Oh.
She was
vaguely.
She was Debbie Allen. Remember the Debbie Allen show? Well, anyway.
Vaguely, man. I might have missed that.
We trained at the same gym, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what happened. I guess I wasn't there that day, coincidentally. And she had a problem with some of the young Latino guys using the N-word. And she called me one day crying. And that was the last altercation I had with the N-word. And I went to the gym and I told the gym, like, hey, I mean, when we're in here, like, I know what y'all doing, y'all, but it's just different when y'all say it to us, you know, and we don't like that word flying around. You know, I don't like it. I tell you guys all the time. And some of y'all took it out of context, but I really don't hang around people that have no respect for me. I withdraw all my resources. You know, I don't patronize people and ask them to change their behavior. I just adjust and I eliminate them. You know,
I don't even talk to them.
No,
seriously. If you're not black, I don't even talk to you. I mean, that's just me. I don't even talk to them motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. All right, and that's just the way it is. And then, and you use that word around me, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna get in your face, motherfucker. Are you a nigga? Well, then you shouldn't be using that word. You're gonna pop that off to the wrong real nigga, and they're gonna be digging you up. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't catch that shit with these motherfuckers, man. That ain't even. You know, you can't. I'm from California. You can't tell me shit about them motherfuckers. Nothing. But keeping it on boxing, right? Look at Mikey Garcia, man. He ducked guys across lightweight, junior welterweight. Anybody who could whoop his ass in 4 different weight classes, he made sure he dodged them. Okay? But yet, when there was a placeholder bum holding the title in those 4 weight classes, what would he do? He hop over there, beat this no-name bum up just to put it on his resume. Come on, Mikey Garcia is the biggest joke in boxing. And I think the only bigger joke is his brother, Robert. That's the only bigger joke in boxing. Those guys, who in their right mind is going to go to Oxnard to train? Oxnard is like falling into a toilet bowl.
He's in Riverside now, so same toilet bowl.
Yeah, another toilet. Fresno, another toilet. Come on, man. California. Come on, man. You know who lives in those places, and it ain't black people, okay? Yep. Not by choice. If you see some black people in Fresno and Oxnard, it ain't by choice.
Riverside, not Fresno, Riverside.
Riverside, too. Mm-hmm. If you see them in River Dive or Fresno or Oxnard, it ain't by choice. It's mostly Mexicans you see out there. In Palmdale, Lancaster, all those places, nothing but Mexicans. Because the land is cheap, ain't nobody up there. You know what I mean? And nobody wants to be there.
Right.
But they're just happy to be anywhere other than Mexico.
Right.
But going back to them, you know they're a joke, right? I mean, come on. What do you think about Robert Garcia, man? This dude, he sucks as a trainer.
I told y'all. Remember I did a show? Robert Garcia's training style is outdated and he's overrated. Y'all don't.
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all. When did we have that show? About 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Do you remember that show?
I missed that one.
Oh my God. He is overrated, dog. Terribly overrated. He don't win big fights. What belt does he have? Who has a belt in his stable?
Exactly. And even his father wasn't shit. I mean, maybe the Mexican fighters, some of them, they'll mention his dad and their family, but to everybody else, they're nothing. But they think in their mind, they're this great training family, and they're not. And Mikey, the funny thing about him, last thing I want to end with, was when he fought Earl Spence, that was such a joke. He ducked everybody who could beat him. Then he decided to fight Earl for a paycheck because he knew he was going to lose any damn way, and he'd rather lose to Earl than lose to the guys he was supposed to fight. Is there anything more pathetic than that?
Right.
But let me show you how chicken shit Mexican people are. They rooted for him. Oh, he's got balls. Mexicans think he has balls. That tells you everything you need to know about him. Right? But anyway, bro, I don't want to hold up the floor. Fred, I hope you have a good show, man. And
thank you.
Drill down on this shit. All right?
I will. The room is filling up.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you.
All right. I'm out, man. Peace.
Thank you, Charles.
All right. You're welcome, Frederick.
Peace. Formerly known as the artist Super Coon. Appreciate you, dog. All right. I know y'all don't want to talk about Mikey Garcia as much, but after what happened, but I'm gonna wait till about 9:45, something like that. Robert Garcia is an overrated trainer. I've said it for years and years. Some people got mad at me, but he is, listen, you can't be a plotty fighter. And the nerve, here's my new shit right now. Mikey Garcia, I didn't watch the fight. What's up, Miss T?
What's up, Fred?
What's up? Health is wealth, huh?
Health and wellness.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was watching your show today. Let me get off this point real quick.
Okay.
I was thinking this listening to Mikey Garcia's speech yesterday. You know, after you win or lose, they do the interview, post-fight interview. That's what it's called. He said, "I was pressing the fight. He was moving." Listen, Mexican fighters. Here's the note. Here's the board. Here's the press release. You can't use that as an excuse anymore. If you know you're fighting a slick fighter, you and your trainer must come up with a game plan to defeat him. Stop saying he was running like a chicken with his head cut off. No, your feet are slow. You don't have the intellectual capitals to cut the ring off. You're not athletically gifted enough to cut the ring off. You're not smart enough or can't get to the body for the first 6 rounds. That is no longer an excuse. We got to stop. That's basically racism, dog. When they say, "Oh, you won't fight me because I'm going to use my God-given gifts." My God-given gifts is to use the entire ring. You have to figure out how to beat me because guess what? I know how to beat you. And I'm tired of that word. He was running around. He wasn't running. He can't run. It's a ring. It got ropes. He only can go so far. How come Triple G figured it out? And he's slower than you. You got to cut the ring off. That's no longer an excuse. That's no longer an excuse, dog. Every time, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to a fight, probably the next 2 or 3 years. I don't know when and if. But if I ever interview these guys, meaning these guys that throw out these racial undertones, I don't know if they'll never come on this show because I'm going to call the Teofimo Lopez family a racist tomorrow at some point or this week when I get to it. And they got to own up to this shit. And guess what? I don't have to care about them. And that's why I love this platform. Y'all show up, rain, sleet, or snow, whether there's a guest or no guest. So I know we doing something over here for the right reasons. And we got to start holding these motherfuckers accountable, man. If you can't cut the ring off, you shouldn't be fighting. It's like, how about if a black fighter says, man, I couldn't get out of the way. It's your fault you couldn't get out of the way. What do you mean you couldn't get out of the way? Come on, man. That dumbass. Anyway, what's up, Miss T? Congratulations on your show, Health as well. How are you doing now? You back on your diet?
Good. Yeah. I started back on. Like it's hard to like completely get off and think you're gonna eat a regular meal. It'll take you a while to build up to that. But before I get build up, because it'll take you about a month to build back to eating like you were before. But before I do that, I'm gonna go back on it.
Right.
I'm gonna do it till I'm sick of it. So I don't have no real timeline, but I have like family members I know that watch it.
Right.
I know friends who are severely obese, and it's not always what people think. Like real talk, I don't know any person that overeats to the point that they really, really big. It's just how food affects you will be different than how it affects me and the next person, you know. So I was inviting everybody to take the journey with me. All we got is time. Time's gonna go no matter what we do.
Right.
So I'm gonna be doing it, and I'm gonna try to go hardcore just to keep up with y'all. And I be speaking facts about that. If I don't go hardcore, my success doing it at a slower pace will be so minimal. Like with me going hardcore would be at the same pace as if y'all went at a slower pace. If that makes sense.
Got it.
Because I just don't have all the organs y'all have. But I ain't gonna cry about it. You know, it's like man-made problems, man-made solutions.
Right. Man-made solutions. Facts.
So, Mikey Garcia, I totally agree with you. I've talked about him on my show. And my thing with Mikey is I look at his intent. I don't see that he wants to be the champion. I don't see that he wants to unify. I don't see that he wants to be undisputed. I see he wants to have a money grab.
Yep.
And it's my job to give him that money grab. So I'm not paying to see Mikey do nothing. I really don't care. I don't hate Mikey. I don't really care what he do with his career. But, you know, for anybody out there, that it seems foolish to me. And it's just my opinion for you to support that. The man is just on a money grab. This is a sport. You either in it or you're not. And so I can't support that. When you were talking about the inactivity of fighters, is it me or do fighters these days have a notion of, it's almost like they think they on the Mayweather pathway. And I keep saying all the time, what God had for Mayweather is what God had for Mayweather. It doesn't mean that his career path is going to be duplicated in everybody. It's like people scared to take a L. And they forget when Mayweather started the first 3 years, he was fighting all the time. He was fighting damn near every month.
I remember Floyd. Remember he was fighting in Flint. He was fighting in Oakland. Floyd was fighting. I remember them fights. He was fighting in Caesar's Palace. I remember being outside and he stopped the Mexican to the body. I remember that shit. Yeah, 1996, 97. Oh.
96, 97.
I remember that vividly. I remember it because I followed Floyd when he lost in the. I'm like, how you lose? You know, I mean, that was the Michael Johnson Olympics. Remember Michael Johnson with the gold shoes?
Sure. Yeah, I remember from Canada, right?
Not Michael. Ben. No, that was Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Michael Johnson is the guy that went. You know what I'm talking about. The 200 meter and 400 meter.
He was a little bit thinner than Ben.
Yeah, taller. Had a long neck. You know what I mean? Long torso. From Texas, I believe. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I always get them to, when you say Johnson, I just automatically think about the one from Canada. But I remember them Olympics. I came back home. I was living overseas, and Olympics had just started when I came back home. And I remember thinking I want to go down there to check Floyd out, and I never did. I was just partying too much or whatever. But everybody thinks that they're going to have that pathway, and it's like they garden their or their reputation too much instead of just being a fighter. You're not going to have Floyd success because you're not Floyd. You don't know what kind of success you're going to have. You just, like you say, you just got to be active. You're going to have some success, but it just might not be what Floyd had. So I just think people got to get out that notion. His era is pretty much gone. We still got the remnants of it, but Floyd is Floyd. It's time for fighters to be themselves and not worry about the or, having one or maybe 2 losses. I don't care if you got 10 losses. As long as you get in that ring and leave it all in the ring. Mm-hmm. That's the ideal way to go to me. I'm just one person, Fred. So that's what I had to add to it. But I don't know. I don't know what these fighters going to do. I wouldn't support Mikey. I don't suggest that for nobody.
I stopped supporting him. Didn't we bury him like a year and a half ago in the barbershop? I don't know if you was here yet, Miss T, but we had a show where we fucking destroyed Mikey Garcia. He said that terrible shit about is it true? Earl can't drive. It's just some underlining stuff. So, but anyways, man, it is what it is, man. These fighters are just. I don't care if your name is Al Heyman, Bob. I think I've been. Let me ask you a question and give me your honest take. I know you only been here about 6 months, Miss T. Have I been consistent as it pertains to when Bob Arum fucks up? Do I go at him as well as Al Heyman?
I think you've been consistent. Yeah. I think you read the room better than most people want to give you credit. Mm-hmm. Like, your audience. Mm-hmm. So, like, even I would say Bob Arum is 90. Mm-hmm. At what point, like, I don't say excuse 90-year-olds, but at one point you got to be like, he's 90. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what you would do with a kid.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He's one.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's, I see you doing that. You might go harder at other people, but like you said, their accountability is more. You expect more, probably from Al Heyman. Mm-hmm. And like, it's okay to disagree with you. I'm sure some people do, or in some of those areas, I don't even know nothing about it. I just be sitting there soaking up information as you're saying it, like how it is when you're around them. Mm-hmm. And the things they're doing or how they don't protect Black media and all that. Mm-hmm. I just listen to you because I know you know. Mm-hmm. But if it seems like, to the chat, if it seems like he giving Bob a pass, I don't think that's what he's doing. I think he's an old man, and sometimes you just got to give respect to old people, period. If they 90 years old, they earn the right even when they wrong. Old people are funny as hell. They don't hold their tongue. They say anything out their mouth, and how they really felt, it start coming out. Mm-hmm. But they're 90. You got to let it go. The time to get them was way before that. Mm-hmm. So I understand you, Fred. Yeah. I think you're a consistent person.
I do my best.
I wouldn't even listen to you if you wasn't.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I went hard on Bob on the Oscar Valdez thing. And calling that woman when he said fuck that woman, like, I went hard on him. So, and Bob knows I'm gonna go hard on him. You know what I mean? But he don't hold it personal. So it is.
And who are you, Fred? If you don't stand on your principles,
right?
Because I think a lot of us, especially when we're young, we be emotional, including myself. And when I started just living by principles instead of emotion, I didn't myself.
Right.
But that was a lesson I had to learn. It took effort. It took me, even when I wanted to quit, be like, fuck this, I'm all in my feelings. I was like, no, look at people's intent. Let that be your guide, know. And I've done better. So, Fred, you good. You all right with me. You know what I feel about you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Miss T. Because I was about to nosedive into These PBC fighters getting the motherfucking. These PBC fighters getting shafted, man. I don't know how they just sit there with they finger in their mouth, with their thumb in their mouth. They getting shafted. How the fuck are you fighting once a year in your prime?
It's scary out there, Fred, because either you about the bag or you about your legacy. And sometimes, you like I said, you got to pick something to be about and stick on principles. Like I did my show today. I didn't have much followers today. I'm happy that you watched it. But I know a couple of people watching and they needed to hear it. And for me, I call that a game. Even if it's one person, I said, that's a game. Because I know that I'm telling the truth and I know that I'm passionate about it and I don't have a malicious intent in my heart.
Right.
So you can't let pretty much how people feel about you or what they think stop you from doing what you know in your heart is right. And
Right.
and once you satisfied that, then you good. You always good. So blast them if you have to. I might not even agree with you on some of the blasting, but I always know your heart is in the right place, and that's enough for me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, and tell Kyle.
Yeah, he'll be here shortly.
He did a hell of a job calling that fight. I don't have ESPN, but I felt like I was there. Fred,
Really?
If I could, yes, he did good. He had a lot of passion, but that was from what he said was a good ass fight. Man, what if it was a boring fight? I don't know how Kyle would have did, but Kyle had so much passion. I closed my eyes and imagined that this was 1920s before TV. TV came out in 1951. And everybody had to listen to fights on the radio. And it almost felt like, the person commentating made you feel like you was right there ringside. And that's how I felt listening to Kyle. So shout out to Kyle for that one. He did an excellent job.
For sure. Well, appreciate you, Kyle.
No. Now he got me praying to the boxing gods. Somebody upload that to the YouTube. So a sister could check it out because I'm not buying ESPN. I ain't getting it. I don't watch them other sports. I just wasting my money. So, but that's all I had, Fred. Keep doing what you're doing. Sometimes I don't make it in because I get tired, especially since I've been back. It takes me like a week or two to get over them flights. So it's all I could do for a show. And most of the time I'm sleeping. But, if I ain't on your show, I'm going to be sleeping. And that's the only way. I do not call in and look at the show.
You. Appreciate you.
All right, Chet.
Appreciate you, Miss
So
T.
y'all have
Yeah.
All right.
What's up, D?
What's going on?
What's up?
What's going on, bro?
Man, what you got?
Not much, man. You see that versus tonight?
Nah, I didn't watch it.
Man, Kane, man, it was like the wrath of Kane, man. He set New York on fire.
Did it? It was dope.
Man, I think that was the best one.
Really? I know all the songs. I was watching NFL.
Going into it, man, I was like, I don't think this is going to be a good one because they do two different types of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm just going to call this a tie right now. You know what I'm saying? But, man, once they got going, man, Kane murdered NY. I ain't going to say murdered KRS-One. I'm not going to do that. But, man, he went in. I felt like I was back in high school and middle school. I mean, he completely wrecked shop. KRS-One he tried to do too much crowd participation. But man, that's one for the archives right there. Okay. If you're a hip hop head, that's one for the archives. So I think they should do one, man, a versus battle, old school versus new school. Take your bet. Rakim versus Nas.
Nas will win because people don't know Rakim.
If you base it that way, then yeah. But I mean, if you're a hip hop head, I'm talking about lyrical content. Yeah. I'm talking about skills. Lyrical content. But anyway, the thing with Tiafimo. No, I'm not old, nigga.
No, I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat too.
I would always picking on you. What's your
Who?
thoughts on Dr. Umar?
Man, hey, look, the thing with Tiafimo and Devin.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to what's it, a Black Fight fan?
Yeah,
What's
Black Fight fan.
what's that brother name?
Black Fight fan.
That's Trill Boxing, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Man, he made some points that I never even thought of.
What's that?
When he was when he's talking about his great grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
and he was going down the whole line of why he don't mess with that word, and how that even if you look like him, he not having it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who's saying it. You know, about how his grandmother was shipped all across the South and across the country picking cotton out of the back of a pickup truck.
Wow.
You know, with a bunch of other dudes. I'm sorry, man. These fruit flies are bad this year up here. But traveling out of the back of a pickup truck with other dudes, because she was so good at it and being called the N-word out of this blatant disrespect because she was looked at as something less than a woman or a human being, and all she was seemed to be good for was to pick cotton. And that we throw that word around so easily and use it as a term of endearment. I've heard this argument a lot over the span of the last 25 years, but I've never, shout out to that brother, I've never heard it broken down in the way that brother had broke it down. And I've heard it broken down by PhDs and all these other cats, and you know what I'm saying, all these academics and whatever. I sat in symposiums. I've done all this, but I never heard nobody break it down like what he did this evening. And I didn't comment. I went all up in the chat. I was just sitting there just listening. And I ain't gonna lie, the brother had me a little bit misty eyed. Because he convicted me. You know what I'm saying? I was, I felt on trial, you know what I'm saying, on trial, and Black Fight Fan was the jury and the judge. The way, you know what I'm saying, the way he broke it down, the two sisters didn't even have nothing to say. And when he said I don't like your father because he wasn't there. And something about your mama because she I'm about to go back and look at the show.
Okay.
Go back and look at the show, and then examine yourself. That's what I'm going to say. Go back and look at the show, and then examine yourself.
I will.
Because I've said, you know what it remind me of when Richard Pryor was talking about how he went to Africa. And he said, "Do you see a nigger here?" And he said, "No, I don't." And after he came back from Africa, he did not use the N-word again. In none of his shows. After he went to Africa and came back home, came back here, he never used the N-word again in another one of his stand-up shows. Or in any of his in his personal life, as he said,
right.
We can't say whether they did or didn't, but that's what he said. So yeah, man, shout out to that brother, man. Big shout out to that brother, because you when you hear that brother's testimony and you hear what, you know, saying, where he come from, what he been through, or whatever, you have, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people that think they better that would try to write their brother off. Oh man, that dude, you know what I'm saying, he on this platform, and you know what I'm saying, he done been to prison, you know what I'm saying, he done this, that, and the third. Everybody listen to him or whatever. Man, I didn't listen to guys who got multiple degrees, got a doctorate and everything else, all this other paperwork, and they ain't never broke it down like that. Ain't never broke it down like that. You could gloss over everything they said, like, oh, okay, yeah, I heard it before. I never heard it like that. Because a couple times I didn't know whether I wanted to stop listening because it was hitting too hard.
Holding you accountable, right?
Exactly.
I like stuff like that. Hold me accountable. And I'm gonna tell you a story after that. So
go ahead.
Bring it all. No, finish, please.
I'm at this point I'm repeating myself.
Yeah, you are. I did hear pieces of it, but the family was just coming back from Disneyland, so I had to, do that stuff. So I didn't hear it like from start to finish. But I will say this, and on this film journey that I just did with the movie I just did,
right.
and learning how upstanding Malcolm X was, that was like my rubric, like for like being cathartic with myself. And I was doing some things, and I have that duality with the N-word, and I want, like, there's a piece of me that wants to get rid of it, and there's a piece of it that, and then there's a piece of me that says I have the right to own every word that's ever created, and that's the intelligent side of me, like it's a word, I can use it, you can't tell me what word not to and not use. But understanding how it impacts Black men, I think it's something that I'm going to like work its way out of my life. And the reason why I say that is because I have to be the example for Lincoln, right? And it's funny you say that, because I just had a conversation with Lincoln today. He was having problem taking his luggage upstairs, right? And he got mad, and he pouted. And he said, "Daddy, why you make me do this?" And so I called him back downstairs, and I grabbed him on his two shoulders. You know how you do when your kids are littler than you grab each other. And I says, "Lincoln, you know why I'm hard on you?
Listen to me. Look at me while I'm talking to you. Listen to me.
Yes, you know why I'm hard on you?" He says, "Why?" I says, "You're my only son."
For now.
No, I'm done. I am dependent upon you. You are going to carry this last name on. It is so important. That's why I am hard on you. And I says, he says, "Do you understand?" He says, "No." I says, "You will as you get older. How important you are to me." And now that you say this, and now that N-word has come up, I think it's time. I think it's time, because listening to Teofimo Lopez yesterday, I was like, and the fact that the Haneys didn't respond to it, I was like, are we so desensitized? Like.
Well, I told Bill Haney the other night that Devin is one of those. Well, we all know Devin's special when it comes to boxing, but I think Devin's special for for other reasons in boxing, and it's not all just throwing his hands. Devin's he's got a mind for business, but I think Devin's got I think Devin, because he's young, he can transcend the sport in other ways. So like Devin is one of our young kings in the sport. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different when you disrespecting one of our individuals like Devin. You know what I'm saying? What is he like? He's like the youngest. He's the youngest black promoter in the sport, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Probably champion as well.
Yeah, yeah, both. Yeah, he's the youngest one, so he has that potential that uh, there's a whole lot of things that can come out of Devin's career as long as he stays healthy mentally. So it hit a little different, and that N word. There's also a derivative of that also that does mean king. So maybe we should lean more towards that, and that's a negus in the Amharic, in the Ethiopian is negus, which means royalty. It means king. So I mean, once you get into that stuff, then
I know. What you about to watch? Kaiser Sose? What you about to do? Tony Soprano, Kaiser Sose, Scarface, Godfather. What you on?
No, man, I had the TV paused. Now I guess I had it paused too long.
Too long. Yeah, the 12s. I know.
Hold up, let me take care of that. I'll be right back.
You be right back, nigga. Get out of here. Say what you gonna say. You good?
Peace. How about that?
All right, peace.
All right, man. I'll holler.
Yeah, be back in later. Yeah. Yeah, my thoughts on I'm gonna open up the phone lines. My thoughts on Devin Haney, the room is kind of filled in now. Thank you guys. I'm gonna tell you from both sides. I think it was a tragedy on both sides. I think the Lopez family are racist. About 2 years ago, I was gonna go in on them, and people told me, no, don't do it. Reconsider. Oh man. Shout out to Andre 3000. And I didn't. I held my tongue. I shut my trap. And he's young. You don't want to ruin his career. You don't want to put that R word on him. I thought he was racist 2 years ago. And the fact that he was so comfortable using that word multiple times in that setting, cameras rolling in the front of a black father and son, shows me that, one, he has no respect for you. I'm not even going to number it. They have no respect for Devin Haney, Devin Haney, Bill Haney. They have no respect for other black people. He doesn't respect our, shall we say, culture. I don't know how we define that now. They can give two shits about you, about me, about you. And that's how he's going to proceed to carry on with his career. If we keep on chasing them. Now let's look at the other side. I was taken back that he said the word and the Haneys were still negotiating money. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching my phone because I was charging those videos I did last night. So I was watching it then, like just before I had left. I went to the charging station real late last night when I did those videos, about midnight, right? 12:30. And I was taken back that neither Devin nor Bill responded to the N-word. They were still talking money. And I'm waiting. And then they said, shake hands. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, shake hands? Nah, I ain't fucking with you no more. Shake hands? Nah, we can't shake hands. Like, no, you can't just talk about me like that. You can't disrespect me and my father and talk to us like we're nothing. And I don't think they would have fought there. But I do think, well, that N-word goes places that takes you to a dark place, because I've been there. And you have the option. Either you hold them accountable in that moment, or you hold them accountable by leaving. I just didn't. It didn't sit well with me at all, because I'm gonna tell y'all this. I have never, in my years, I probably covered boxing for 10 years, like with the credential, or 9 years, 8 years with the credential. I would never allow that on my watch. Never. And y'all know it. I would never allow it. It wouldn't happen. If I had a phone right then and there, I would have interjected and said, "Did you just use the N word?" You understand what I'm saying? And I probably wouldn't have said it like that, but you get my point. I think the level of disrespect that the Haneys intook last night was below the definition of disrespect, because it's no need to chase that man. He just has a belt. Like I said on my show, when Bill Haney was on here, y'all can go create your own movement, because you can afford to pay for your fights. You don't have to chase JoJo Diaz, Ryan Garcia. Who's the other Latino? Teofimo Lopez. Let them fight each other, and let them just die off, because they have no melanin. You know what I mean? And I think that's the answer, because Floyd created this false narrative in boxing. Like, it's an absolute. Floyd chased Oscar De La Hoya, right? And then he wanted to take over the Mexican holiday to spite Oscar De La Hoya. And then Floyd did what? Gave all his powers to Canelo Alvarez. And now Canelo Alvarez is what? Don't give a fuck about your black ass. He just put a guy on for my gym. He's fighting on the card November 6th, a Mexican fighter. He's fighting on the card November. A guy from my gym is fighting on the card November 6th. I'm going to go back to the gym. I haven't been training in that gym since COVID, but he's fighting on Canelo's card. They drove down to San Diego this weekend and got the deal done. So I think that it's incredibly important that we understand it and not deal with that disrespect. But we're always going to accept that disrespect when we're chasing currency. It's no need for us to chase currency anymore at this level. At this level, for real. How the fuck does black people run the sport but chase Latinos? I don't grasp that. I don't understand it. I don't. I don't understand it. But when we're living in a world where everyone wants to take a selfie with the celebrity, everyone wants to fake it till they make it. Everyone's profile is bigger than their actual living existence. I'm using the term everyone, but that's not true. People are just afraid just to be genuine. And that's a bigger problem that we have. You don't have to chase Latinos. A Latino fighter don't validate what God gave you. And I think we got to get back to the core, man. We got to have them. We got to leave them in the desert and let them die of dehydration. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think it's just incredibly, incredibly important that Mikey Garcia would be a nobody if he didn't fight Adrian Broner. He would just be he would never cross the Mississippi. For real, for real. It's a fact. Al Heyman didn't allow Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz or Carl Frampton to touch Gary Russell. Why? because he would have fucked up that money. Gary Russell would have fucked up Al Heyman's money. So what Leo Santa Cruz do? He named his son after him. Leo Santa Cruz ain't no $1 million fighter, and neither is Abner Mares. I mean, you're worth what you negotiate. Obviously, I get that, but what does Leo Santa Cruz do that say, yeah, he's worth millions? He doesn't knock people out. He's a great guy. Honestly, he's one of the better men in boxing, but we're talking about what happens in the ring, okay? He does nothing special. What was the last Leo Santa Cruz knockout that you saw? So that's the point I'm making. Blue Bud said that Teofimo Lopez non-black friends in New York use the N-word more freely than other places, but why didn't Lopez use the N-word on Loma? You're right. You're right. I do agree that New York is a special place as it pertains to the N-word with Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. I will say that. But when you can say that knowing you got 100 cameras on you, and feel free to call in. There we go. Where are we at? I'm sorry. Y'all don't have a number. I got to say something. You know the world is watching. You know this is going viral. He has no respect for black people. If Teofimo Lopez says that like that, he has no respect for black people, because let's say Fred disrespects Latinos, right? Hypothetically. I don't do it because I don't care. I don't even think like that. But let's say Fred disrespects Latinos. I don't go to Canelo Alvarez and call him a racist word to his face. I wouldn't do it at all. And what's up, 513?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? Turn me down in the back. What's up?
Oh yeah, I'm just calling in, just what's going on? Just
turn me down in the back.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. I cut it off.
No, you good.
Y'all good?
Yeah, we great. What's up?
Yeah, so I'm just to speak on this situation with this Teofimo. Like he said, he ain't said to this and that person. He ain't said it to much to none of any other fighter. And what I noticed, it's like every time he, like they when it comes to whether it's Mexican or Puerto Rican, Philippine, they always support each other. And it's funny that they come from all different lands, but they all know that they tie together through a mixture. And through that mixture, it's usually, because a conqueror is coming in and taking over. But they know that happened, but they still neglect to say they had ties with our Aboriginal cultures and stuff like that. So since way back in history, they always veered away from that. And in New York, see, my brother, he's Puerto Rican, and I'm from New York, and I'm from Ohio, I'm from Cincinnati. So yeah, it's a mixture out there, and we can understand that. But looking at it from a Teofimo perspective, he's not looking at it like that. And his family, they come from let me see, I think Honduras or something, not somewhere near Honduras or something like that. So they not necessarily, even though he's born in New York or whatever, around those areas, this dude is completely coming off on a racist tip.
Mm-hmm.
That just straight off what I'm saying from him is completely coming off on a racist tip. That's just how he's getting down.
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more, man. it was definitely racist. I believe that the whole family's racist. I mean, him and his son, only know him and his son. I think they're all racist, and I don't put nothing past them at all. You know, it's
Yeah, he's been, I've been trying to, I've been watching a lot of his fights, and when I first saw him, it's like naturally we be getting so caught up in the sports, and we be having natural respect for other fighters. A lot of us be having natural respect for fighters, so we don't look at a lot of that like it's nothing. But then we be like you say, they so caught up in the money, like you say, like you was looking at them, you was lost, like, and they still negotiating.
They still negotiating. Go ahead,
Yeah.
dog. Like that just made my water boil a little bit. You still talking money, niggas? You still breathing?
It's like it was like it was sad because Devin Haney, when it came to that situation, I start sinking because I start losing respect for the little homie. It's like I still respect him because I know he a dog, but I was losing respect because it was like this man is spitting in your face. He's spitting in your face in front of the camera. And I thought Teofimo only said it once, but I heard you say he said it multiple times.
Yeah, and, multiple times, yeah. Very comfortable. Very comfortable.
Man, and and it's like, and I was just wondering, like, and I'd be like the type of guy like me, I would already ask the lawyer, questions like, if it ever comes to a time I have to hit somebody, if I hit them, what's the roundabout what I get sued for? It comes to a situation like that where, I think I would have teed off on him, man. Yeah, I probably would have teed off on him, or something like that. But I just would have had to hit him or something like that. Like, but yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing, and it's like they seem to have respect for other fighters when it comes to another race, and they appreciate it. But it's like all the stuff that we did in boxing to help all races. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like we always mention the Mexicans, we mention the Puerto Ricans, we mention anybody who's good at their craft, and we respect them. We really do. But we don't get that back at all.
We shouldn't expect it. I mean, like I heard something today. Shit, who said it? Well, as it pertains to, will the WBC come down on him because he said, I think it was on Instagram. Because because Devin Haney said white boy, right? I'm like, I wouldn't expect nothing from them. This is welcome to America. Welcome to America. We got to stop doing comparative analysis. I've outgrown that. COVID taught me a lot. We don't need no comparative analysis. Well, if you was a white person, duh.
Right, it's like this. We never came out with that analogy. First, we was named what? We was named they was calling us and I know I heard old boy when he was speaking about the cultural thing, all our cultural thing where we just looked at as kings, but this is a whole derogatory name, as in when they add the extra G to it, but a lot of people, they not hip to that type of stuff. And when it comes to Teofimo, what I mean? Like when it comes to him, they got a lot more. They know, like when it comes around to Mexico and down those areas, you get what I'm saying? And they from El Salvador. That's where his father's from and all that, or whatever. They're from El Salvador. See, they know a lot about the cultures, whether or not. So he knows what he's saying. And when he's saying that, I never ever seen him use that word ever personally. Now I don't know if you ever seen him use it besides that, but when I just seen him use that, oh yeah, I know he was saying it out of passion. And when it comes to that, like, yeah, they know exactly what they own. And, it's like they never, like they give, like, like a lot of people say, they give Muhammad Ali his props. But deep down, but deep down, you know, it's like they hate him. You know, it's like they had to respect him, but deep down they hate him. But they only really respect him when he was dead.
Right. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like because I never heard nobody mention Muhammad Ali until I was at work one day. The head boss was at the table and he was referring to this one guy in his craft, and he was like, "You the Muhammad Ali of contracting." And then, oh man, all of their faces just sunk. They was like Muhammad Ali, you know, like, and it was like I looked at him. Yeah, it made him want to cry, but deep down, the boss, you could tell since he was young, he been watching him,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a love for him that he probably would have never said until he died. But you know, it's like, yeah, man, you know, I just want to call in and spit that, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's real obvious, and I understand what Blue Blood say because I watched Blue Blood.
Oh, I didn't hear what Blue Blood said. I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you know, he what he was doing, Blue Blood. I could see what Blue Blood was saying, but Blue Blood is coming at it in a pure heart. Because Blue Blood got a good heart. He always try to look at the best side of shit. But at this time, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know he's speaking, he's like, man, this is New York. This is coming from a New York standpoint, man. One thing I do know is, even though they say it like this, here it goes. You want to say the word nigga, but then you want to call yourself Honduran. You want to use the word nigga, but then you want to call yourself fucking a Chinese. You want to use the word nigga, but you want to call yourself Mexican. You get what I'm saying? Now, you don't want to be me. Because if I asked you, would you like to change and put yourself in my shoes? You would go, hell no.
Right. Right.
You can't live in these shoes. You can't handle it.
Right.
If you was AKA white, because white don't exist. Black and white don't exist, but we use terms of land with everybody else. But when it comes to us, we start going to a crayon box and shit. We want to fucking go blind. But since we want to use references and shit, if you're white, what the fuck you doing trying to use the word nigga? Okay, then say it to your brother, but don't say that shit to me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you want to look at it and say, okay, then they saying nigga, man, that's cool. And you want to look up to it. Cool, that's cool. But don't use that shit with me. Don't use that shit to my brother, my sister, my mother, nobody in my culture. And everybody in the culture that's allowing that shit ain't doing nothing but fucking adding fuel to the fire. And it's, you know, but it's funny that they want to do that shit, but saying this, but they want to use it.
Your phone just died, dog.
All right, man. You know, appreciate it.
Yeah, your phone just went. It just did something. Yep. What was that me? Let me close this out and bring it back in. What's up, champ? Let me read these super chats in this quote from Coach Cunningham. One more thing. Thank you, Roland Curtis, for doubling back. Thank you, dog. One more thing besides Teofimo Lopez calling only Devin Haney the N-word. He's always calling only Devin Haney ugly. This can't be a coincidence. Oh, coincidence. He has no respect for Devin Haney. That's why you got to stop checking. Dude, how many times have I said this? Millions of times. Half y'all. Now y'all starting to come along. Now y'all starting to say, maybe Fred is right. Yeah. Stop chasing. Oh, it's stop chasing these guys. It's no need to. It's over. Let them go and do their thing. It's a wrap. Let them go. You know, let them see if they can make $1 million without us. Let them. I mean, if you want to make it a war. And Coach Cunningham said something I thought that was real interesting. Coach Kevin Hunter said, this new generation is definitely different than mine. Where I come from, if a non-African American call you a nigga to your face, he gets his teeth knocked down his throat instantly. You know what I mean? And Champion Heart, go ahead, dog.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Can you see me?
I mean, you want to be seen?
Oh, no. I'm good. I'm good. You freezing.
You want to roll?
Yeah, you freezing. You're not moving. I don't know what's going on with the system here.
No, I'm moving. We good.
Okay. All right. You freezing on my end. Don't worry about it though. It's cool. Um. Man, the caller that was just got off the phone, man. He was salute to that brother. He was on point with a lot of stuff he was saying. Uh. The one thing that he missed was the fact that they um they deny that our blood. They don't just want to be us. They are from us. They have our blood. You understand what I'm saying? And more slaves were in Mexico than they were in the United States. So the blood is there. I can remember dating a young lady, uh, and I met her mother. Right, she was Puerto Rican. Her mother was as dark as I was, and her dad was a little of a lighter complexion. And she would tell me how he would have issues about her dating brothers, and I'm looking at her mother, and I'm like, what? you know, he don't want you to date brothers, but look at your mom.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but when the brother was speaking on Blue Blood, I got what Blue Blood was saying. Being in New York, like I was raised in Chicago, and uh, the Latin and Black relationship is not like it is in New York. You know what I'm saying? So what Blue was saying was that being in certain communities, this is how Teal was raised. So this is why Devin and his father wasn't offended by what he was saying, how he was using it, because of how he was raised and how he talks. Um, and I get that. I mean, Fat Joe says it all the time, and he gets a pass. But I don't think there's always been this black and brown camaraderie. I don't think it's there at all. Yeah, there may be a few, but overall, it's not there at all. And because they get an honorary white card, and when Trump gave them their nigga moment, then they want to come back and say we together. No, no, we not. Hold your own nuts on this, Julio. You know what I'm saying? Trump give me your nigga moment, you're gonna have to deal with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, the brother was on point to call in. But I got what Blue was saying. I definitely understand what Blue was saying.
I got to go watch it.
Yeah, you gotta go check it out, because I definitely understood what Blue was saying, because because those communities, the way they come up in those communities, you have the Honduras and Dominicans, and they all come on, they all in the same community. You know what I'm saying? So how they talk to one another and everything is just normal. So I got exactly what he was saying. And it's not like that, but it's not like that all over. And Blue, Blue said that. He said that's not how. Because people in the chat were saying, well, this is not acceptable, and we don't say this here, and it wasn't like that for me in Chicago. So, and that's what Blue was saying. If you, that's not how you were raised. So I understand why you're saying. Now the thing is that did T.O. mean it that way? Because I think it's all cap. I think it's all for nothing. Teal don't want that fight because he knows Devin gonna beat the brakes off of him.
Well, it can't happen anyway. The promotion companies.
Promotion, exactly. So it's just all cap. You know what I'm saying? But I think somebody said it in the chat. Did he use that word when he was talking to Lomo?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Why did he just use it when he was squaring off with Devin? Was it in a disrespectful manner, or was it just uh, how he was raised and how they talk? So that's the question, and that can be argued. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I had to run to St. Louis, man, and come check on moms real quick.
Okay. How's she doing?
Yeah. Man. I need to get her to Texas, man.
Mhm.
I really need to get her to Texas. I mean, you've seen this house. I think I've showed you pictures of this
Mhm.
house. How massive it is, man. Just her being here by herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good. You know, not good. So just trying to figure out what we're gonna do. You know, um, Yeah, but man, it was something else I wanted to talk to you about. Now I'm drawing a blank on it. I'll probably beam back in when I remember.
Feel free.
You know, but I'm gonna go back what Terrence Bailey was talking about, man. I'm gonna go back and watch that.
Yeah, I saw it in pieces. I got to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
And shout out the Black Fight fan on that. I
Yeah.
have to go back and watch it. So I'll definitely do that for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. You know, because Black Flag fan, he came up a certain way,
Mhm.
and so yeah, I want to go back and see what he was talking about and how he broke it down.
Sure.
Yeah. But I remember. I'm gonna get back at you, man.
Appreciate you.
All right now.
All right, peace. Divine Sense Boxing. Are you a real person? I've never seen you beam in before, so you got to show yourself. And we'll move forward. If you're not going to show yourself, don't beam because I'm not even going. All right, cool. All right, you ready? All right, let's go. Go ahead. What's up?
Oh man, yeah, I actually got a channel out here, man. I talk about boxing and whatnot.
Okay.
A lot of the old OGs like 78 and those guys, they know who I am.
Okay, good.
I've been around for a long time.
Okay.
I left.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you opening the lines up for people to come in and drop in some thoughts and whatnot on this particular topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I just wanted to, give my perspective. Obviously, being a white dude in a predominantly, black content creator, YouTube and boxing as well, being predominantly black, and for myself, coming up in more of an old school type of mindset, being an athlete all of my life. And I just wanted to come on here and just give my real quick thoughts. And as I said earlier, I was on YouTube back in the early days, 09, 2010. And I remember back then there was this chick that used to talk about boxing, this white chick. And everybody liked her. She was really cool. She talked about boxing. And then one day she got really comfortable and just started dropping it inward. And so a lot of channels lashed out. There were a few other channels out here were actually like, oh, no, it's cool, man. She's cool. She can use the word and this and that. And I stayed out of it because I try not to get into those type of topics. I just try to keep it boxing. And what ended up happening is some channels started hitting me up, like DMing me, like, yo, Divine, you got to say something, bro. Cause you a white dude out here and you got to let the people know what you think. So I did. And it reminds me of this a little bit about this type of situation. And for me, like I said, being an athlete all of my life and being around predominantly Hispanics and blacks. I'm from the West Coast, by the way. And I understand that the East Coast is a little bit different. And the reason why I say that is because when I joined the military, is the first time I actually met people from, Chicago, New York, all across the East Coast. And it's the first time I ever heard like Puerto Rican cats and Dominican cats and all these Latinos from that side, using the N-word. That was the first time I ever heard it. Because when I was growing up, that's a no-go. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's just a matter of respect. So playing sports and growing up in that environment, for me, I just felt like I didn't have to use it to be cool. Like if you're respected, then you're respected. I didn't feel the need to be like, oh, I got to earn my way to get into people's good side so I can use this word or whatever have you. I just never felt like it was necessary, and it was really just down to respect. And when I see Teofimo speaking like this, for me, I feel like he's scared. For me, I feel like he don't want nothing to do with Devin Haney, and it's all about a lot of talk, a lot of false energy and whatnot. And that's how I feel about that. But I agree when people make the comparison that when he uses it against Devin Haney, it's like, oh no, he's cool, man, because he's a cool dude. But then when it was used against Lomachenko, or somebody said he didn't use it against Lomachenko, right? He never talked that way against a white dude, right? So then it's different. Nobody says anything then. And yeah, so it's just, for me, man, I don't have an opinion per se because it's not my place to come and say how people should speak or not speak. I leave that up to the black community to have these discussions. I just wanted to come from my own personal viewpoint and give my personal perspective.
Well, no, we appreciate you coming in, and appreciate you coming in. Like I stand on what I said. I think the Lopez family has been doing this for years. And I think Devin and Bill should have responded to it. I don't think a fight is necessarily there because it would have turned into a melee. But you have to stand there and hold your ground, hold your water. And I'm not disappointed. I wouldn't say disappointed, but I'm actually shocked that he just allowed it just to be continuous. And you're talking money. I'm sitting there. Why are you talking money? Like I'm not negotiating with you no more. I gotta have Dre come down here and tell that story about uh that the car place when we bought the Lexus. I'm not buying no car from you. You crazy. You crazy, man. Anyways, man. So
Do you think it's a new generation type thing? Do you think it's just a strictly like certain parts of the states where it's cool, but then the general public as a, like the United States as a whole hasn't felt the same way? How do you think this gets a pass in your personal opinion?
I I think it's the watering down of what's right and what's wrong. We're getting further and further away from right and wrong, and I think that's the bigger problem. Um, and that's why I have so many damn enemies in this boxing game is because we deviate from like what's right and what's wrong.
Mm,
And I think that should be the core of us, what's right and what's wrong. And the
mm,
moment we choose a group over truth, I think that becomes the problem. And the reason why people didn't interject in what's right and what's wrong as it pertains to this is because they chose to side with the group. They chose to decide, hey, I want my credential, so I'm going to stay with this credential group. You know,
mm,
Devin and Bill didn't respond because they want to stay in the keep on making money group. I don't know what the group is.
mm,
Teofimo Lopez and his dad said what they said because that's their group. That's the rules, and it's and I deem it to be wrong.
mm,
And I would have stood up there. I stood up against Bob Arum when no one did last week. If I was in that press conference room, there's no way Bob Arum would not have left that press room without acknowledging what he said was wrong, And
mm.
I think we're drifting further and further away from right from wrong, man. And
Would you say it's more for me? It sounds like respect and disrespect. I mean, there's a line that shouldn't be crossed. You know what I mean? And when you're using that type of language, you're crossing that line. In my opinion, there's a lot of things that you can say to get your point across.
yeah,
And but again, it comes down to language and culture, and if it's accepted, then they may not see any wrong in it if that's the way
mhm,
they talk in their everyday life.
facts. Um, it I wouldn't necessarily a blurred line. I would think we're allowing them to step over the line. You understand?
Mm,
Like I don't move like that. Like I don't disrespect people. Like I don't go around like, man, I want to disrespect this white person so bad.
mm,
I don't have that in my life. And if it is in my life, I'm getting rid of it,
mm.
you know? Like boxing. As a boxing fan, boxing is so disrespectful. So I don't give boxing my money.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I see a lot of people commenting on the videos all across YouTube and on Instagram. A lot of people are saying like, "Ah, y'all just sensitive, man," and this and
oh
that.
really? I say
Oh, I see it a lot.
I say
Yeah.
yeah, I say fuck them. I'm not gonna just say it's a race. I'm just gonna say fuck all of them. I don't give if you say we being sensitive, fuck you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's it's it
Well, and
is.
somebody asked me back in the day what I mentioned to you earlier about that story of that chick, that white chick that started dropping it.
Mhm.
And the conclusion to that story is obviously she got a lot of backlash and she ended up shutting down her channel.
Oh wow.
But a lot of people, came to me and asked me, how do you feel when you actually hear non-blacks say it to black people in front of you? And I just say, yeah, I find it kind of odd, but it's not my place. It's not. You know, I don't do it because it's just the way I was brought up. But, you know, I've noticed over the past 10, 15 years that it's being openly used more. Like I heard it back in the early 2000s, late 90s. I'd be like, what? You know, I would be even more shocked. But now I see it more. I see it all over the internet now. I see it in real life now. And I just never felt like, oh, well, they can say it now, so it must be cool for me to say it now because they get away with it. Nah, man, because again, it goes back to respect. And I've never felt the need to have to say it to like try to be cool or whatever. You just be who you are. If you real, you real. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. That's just the way I've always looked at it.
Yeah,
And
if we begin to live in our authentic self, then your life ultimately gets better, and then you can be a huge asset to others. But
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, but yeah, we totally appreciate you calling in though, for sure, for sure.
Oh, definitely, man. And I've been watching you for a while, bro.
Thank
And
you, man. I appreciate you.
yeah, I love the work that you do. Like I said, I was gone for a while, so I was gone for about 5 years. I came back, so I'm just catching up. There's a lot of new
Okay,
channels out
I
here,
appreciate you.
so I'm just like, okay, this is cool barbershop, and you know,
I want to
I was,
follow.
yeah, I was listening to 78 Man because, like I said, him and I go way, way back
I
before
just
the
followed you.
LDBC.
I just followed you.
Oh, I appreciate you, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, so any other time you got a boxing match coming up and you want me to jump in on a conversation, I'll be
sure.
more than happy to, bro.
Okay, for sure, for sure, for sure.
All right, stay up.
All perspectives. Thank you, dog.
Yep.
Yeah, peace. And before I got TB and we got Anthony coming in, and another thing about me like going real hard about like and learning about Malcolm X and his journey, you realize at the end of the day, it's the person. You know what I mean? Because you don't deal with the world on an everyday basis. You deal with individuals on an everyday basis. Obviously, we're in the world. And you have to use your discretion as to who you give your time and your energy to. And if people are racist, I know some of us work in big jobs. You work in the county building, you work at a college, you work at a high school. I was a school teacher for 7 years. And so you can't control who comes in and out of those doors. But you can control who you give your time and your energy to. And I think we definitely can do a better job at that. We got TB coming in. Then Anthony, you're next. Okay. Hey, what's up?
Hey man, I'm back.
Okay. What's up?
Hey man. Hey, look, man. I want to say this other thing, man, and I want to go ahead and jump off. I just want to finish off the point that I was trying to make before I was interrupted. 78.
Yes.
78 made a point. He made the same point that I did, and I don't know what. Well, I can tell you this straight up. I did not know that he felt the same way. We both made the same point without even interacting with one another, and I'm glad that the brother felt the same way I do. So I know that I'm not out on an island by myself. And that point was with Wilder. Fight 1 and 3. The ref is a common denominator. If you look at fight 1 and 3, it's the ref. Because in fight 1, I've never seen, and I said this to Tay Jones, I've never seen a fight where a guy gets hit so gets laid out and his head bounces off the canvas and his eyes are closed and the fight is not immediately waved off. When a ref says, I give him the benefit of the doubt because of who he is. Where they do that at?
Making great points.
You know what I'm saying? And then in the third fight, in what was it, the fourth round? We all know about that. Man, Mike Tyson gives Deontay Wilder a hard time, but for what went on in the fourth round of that fight, Mike Tyson took Buster Douglas to court for that same thing. Went to court. Him and Don King. but yet he's congratulating. Well, he was named after me. Man, you didn't know none of them people. Ain't like you was the godfather and you was at the christening. Shut up. But I heard 78 make the same points that I made. And so I feel somewhat validated. Well, I take it back. Not somewhat. I feel validated that that the brother from the general of the LDBC is actually saying the same thing I'm saying. And I did not see him say that first before I said it. I'm not saying he did not say it first, but I did not see him say it before I said it. And I wanted to make that clear and give a shout out to that brother and the fact that man, shout out to all y'all, man, for real, man, all of y'all, man, because all y'all some genuine brothers like Fred. Just as much good stuff you put out, you get just as much hate.
Oh yeah, it's always gonna be that one.
Blue is the type of brother. If you don't love Blue, there's something wrong with you. That's all I can say. That dude, I mean, it's the one that dude ain't a preacher on the side. You know what I'm saying? I can say that dude being a Baptist preacher or something. You know what I mean? 78, that dude, you know what I'm saying? He hard, but he sensible at the same time. Look, it's just a bunch of good dudes, man. I'm glad I found this community. But I tell you who turned me on to y'all in the beginning, and it was Fanon.
I'm glad Fanon as well.
Yeah, Fanon turned me on to y'all, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad that because I've always been a hardcore boxing fan. I've been a hardcore boxing fan for almost 30 years, and I'm glad to even actually have a small piece of participation in this.
You got your participation trophy.
But I don't need a trophy. I just like to be a name, you know, what I'm saying, in the number of the in the chat and BFTB. You know what I'm saying? Watching him just clown people and go in on people and do the most is highly entertaining, especially when I'm feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? To watch BFTB go in. He's a veteran too, right?
I think he's been since day one, BFTB, or he started late, you know?
No. I think he served.
Oh, a veteran.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was like, let's go. Like, wait a minute. The cadence and how he talk. I'm like the cadence and how he talk and how he go. I'm like, hold up, man. Look, this sounds like too familiar. This is a brother.
So all y'all sound alike in the military?
No, there's a cadence. You can tell who served.
Really? It's kind of like in the Nation of Islam. You could kind of tell if they're in the Nation of Islam.
You can tell who's you.
No, I wasn't being funny. Like they all have a cadence, like, you know, when they outside.
Some you can, some you can, some you can tell with some you can't or whatever. And then there's some faking the funk. But you know what I'm saying? But you know, that's what I mean. If you, as you can see, I posed it in the question. You know what I'm saying? But my first inclination, like, I think he's a veteran because the way he talked and his tone of voice. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I think he's a vet.
Yeah.
But
heard this time.
Let me go and get out of here, man. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
What's up, Anthony? What's up?
Hey, what it do, Fred?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I ain't gonna complain, man. I want to salute to you for having this conversation because
thank you.
This is pretty deep, especially in California.
Oh yeah, very much so in California for sure.
I'm out here in Louisiana now, but I'm from California, born and raised. Los Angeles. I was born in San Fernando Valley.
Mm.
So I'm pretty familiar with this kind of conversation.
Yep.
But I want to say I don't think Teofimo Lopez was being racist. I think I think he was saying the word nigga just to show Devin Haney, like, look, I'm more blacker than you are. When I beat your ass, I'll steal your fans, stuff like that. However, I do believe they have some kind of disdain towards black people. I mean, I believe, Charlos, they have the same disdain for black people as Teofimo Lopez. I believe it's about the same. But I just want to give y'all a little history of where I come from and stuff. Like growing up, I had Mexican friends. I'm talking about elementary. We stayed in the same apartment, and I couldn't go in their house because their grandmother or their mother would tell them like, we don't like black people, and the Mexicans would relay that to me. And this is about 2 or 3 different kind of friends, 3 different times. My first time ever experiencing racism was from a Mexican. And, coming out here to the South is different. And then I see in Texas, it's very different. I heard Black talk about this, like Mexicans rock with black people in Texas, but in California, it's a very fine divide. You go to prison, you see like Bloods and Crips come together to go against Mexicans. Like, race is race versus, race versus race. So it's a very hard line we walking with this, man. And you about 2 words away from starting a race war. But yeah, man, I just believe that I don't think he was racist by using the word nigga. Like if Devin Haney would have said, don't use that, and then he continued, then I feel that's where the racism and the disrespect would have played its part. But yeah, man, that's all I wanted to get off my chest. I might beam back in if I get something else.
Okay, for sure.
But salute to you, man. Keep going. Everybody go check out 9 Wives. And y'all hold it down, man. LDBC.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you, big dog.
Peace.
Yeah. I'm gonna open the phone lines back up. I just felt this should have been addressed from the media's perspective, from the Haney's perspective. What's up, Ant?
Yo, what's good with it, Fred?
Hey, I'm great, man. Appreciate you, West Virginia. What's up?
Man, people make too many excuses, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like you said, it's either you gonna hold people accountable or you not. You can't straddle the fence. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I got Mexican. I got Mexican homeboys too. You know what I'm saying? I got, homies from South America, Puerto Rican homies, all that shit, right? But I let them know up front, bruh, my reality and your reality is 2 totally different things. You understand what I'm saying? And your family know what's up. That's why history is so fucking important. Mejor la raza. Mexican people watching this, Honduran people watching this, and South Americans who watching this, that's a trigger word for them because they know they heard that their whole lives. Stay away from blacks. Marry as light as you can. It's in majority of their households. That's how they talk. That's what it is. People can try to defend them because, you want to have access to some Puerto Rican pussy, some Honduran pussy. You understand what I'm saying? But this is the real. Mejor la raza is a very racist term that's been taught since the 1800s because there was so many mixed race, you know what I'm saying? Basically black children being born. So they were saying, stop having sex with black people, have sex with more Southern European looking featured people. Like, do not have sex with black people, with Africans. So for people to act so oblivious and be like, oh, well, my heart and how I feel, instead of going what's real, that's the problem. You in your feelings instead of just seeing what it really is. Fred called this shit out hell ago, and I remember it. Everybody was saying, "No, Fred, you wrong for that. Come on, man. You grew up in New York City. You know how it is. You know how it is." But listen to the tone. You know, it's one thing, like, "Hey, what's good, my nigga?" And it's nothing like nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you opposite race, because he never claims to be Afro. Look, if he claimed to be Afro-Honduran and he showed the black grandmother that they hide in the closet or in the cellar or in the basement, then that'd be different. Right. But he doesn't fucking do that. And that's where the issue is. You understand what I'm saying? And the father, he even more. Yeah, I remember even an interview I think he had with not Christina Pancha. God damn, I think it was Michelle Joy Phelps, and he talked about, yeah, man, when I was in prison, man, I had to fight blacks, I had to do this and do that. Da, da, da. So he's always had that racial undertone. Even when they were sparring, and his son was somebody was getting the best of his son.
Davis.
I remember him saying the N-word then. You know what I'm saying? We'll get that nigga back the next time. I believe that's what he said. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think that's what he said, if I can remember. Because it was distinctive. It was in my head. I was like, oh, shit. Like, this, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker love using the N-word, and it's the way he used it's the undertone of like, oh, I hate you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people are trying to babyfy it and put a pacifier on it. Fuck that, man. We men. Are we boys or we men, Fred? What are we? Man. Okay, we men. Well, we got to handle this like men. You know what I'm saying? And the most Haney could at least did, even with the camera, hey, man, let me take you to the side, bro. At least that's how we do it where I'm from. Look, if you have that much love for somebody, let me take you to the side, bro. Let's get away from these cameras. Hey, you ain't gonna talk to me like that in front of no cameras. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? I'm a man just like you a man. Respect me. And if you don't respect me, I'm gonna knock your ass out flat right here. I don't give a fuck about the money and all that shit. Hey, I got lawyers. You know what I'm saying? I got my Jewish, you know what I'm saying, my Jewish lawyers. You know what I'm saying? I'm caked up, just like you caked up. So I'll knock your ass out right here. That's the energy you should have had. But, you know, everybody worry about their money and their image, and they don't want to offend other races of people. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. The black man, well, just the black race in general, melanated people in general, we are the most disrespected race of people. People literally shit on us, and we go, wow, does the shit really smell that bad? Does it smell that bad? Right. Instead of just getting rid of the shit. But, man, that's my motherfucking call. I really want y'all to think about this as black men. You going to continue to let people piss on you, and then you going to ask if it's raining outside? Let me know what you think.
I think you nailed it. And it's time for people to stop saying, "Oh, they took that from us." No, 2021, we done gave it to them. Music, we done gave it to them. You making deals with them dudes in them high-rise buildings. You know what I mean? What's up, 915?
No, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, what you got?
I'm glad once again that you are on the cusp, or not even on the cusp. You're literally on the forefront of talking about African American issues in sports and boxing. Just for clarity, can you hear me today? The other day you said I was mumbling over my words.
Yeah,
so I think I was in the airport.
Yeah, it was your phone. Yeah, you good now.
All right. What I wanted, if you just allow me to put this out there, because I'm adjunct faculty at actually at my alma mater, and I was trying to tell you the last call that I had my students discuss the differences of race and boxing, and how the last Fury and Wilder fight impacted, and how was race used. I had a few of them. They wrote some poignant things. But today, when I first seen it, at first with Teofimo and Devin Haney, at first I was like, okay, finally they're getting face to face. This is good. Maybe this will trigger the fight. But before I just heard that word, he said that word, and I'm like, hold. And I paused, and they still, I don't know if you ever just you have a mental pause and everything just stops around you.
Nah, that's what
and
women do. Women have menopause, not men.
No, a mental pause.
Oh, mental pause. Oh, yeah. Mental pause. Yeah. Okay.
Like when he said that, almost like in the Matrix, when he said that word, everything froze for me. And I'm like, I had to look at it. And then he said something else that was just like, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to your dad because he's your boss. Like little niggas, go to the side. Let me talk to him. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk to Eddie. And then they even went further to say, well, why did you meet them? Why did you tell me what happened? Why did you miss the meeting with Bob? So not only we talking about the fight, you basically telling me that you feel like you don't need to talk to me anymore. Why did you not come to the table with some old white man to discuss my business? And that, in a sense, I thought that was going to trigger them to just be like, "Oh, we out," but it didn't. And like you just said, they talked about the money and want a handshake. I think it was a lot of the adrenaline in the heat of the moment.
Sure.
But one thing that with that word, that nigga word, we've our culture as a whole has pacified that word where we let a lot of non-Africans use it. And as an example, it's a rapper. I don't know if you're familiar with him. The name is China Mac or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an Asian rapper. He's from New York, I believe. And he used the word nigga several times in his raps. And there's a lot of people saying, "Yo,
damn,
that's not." Hello?
Oh, well, I'm listening.
He used the word nigga a couple times in his raps, and people were like coming up like, "Yo, bro, why you can't keep saying nigga?" He felt like, "Yo, I grew up around black people. I do it as a term of endearment. I should be able to say it. My homies feel like I'm cool. They say I can say it, so I'm gonna continue to say it. I don't mean no harm. I'm just using it as part of our culture because I'm hip hop culture." And that's what diluted that word so much because so many other non-Africans embrace hip hop culture. As a people, black people in general, and in particular, we embrace everything and we're so forgiving. So we'll bring everybody into the fold and into the culture. So now you got someone that's totally outside of our culture who's now in the culture and hearing the words of what we're saying, making up their own thing. You got others, tons of people that rap or sing that's in hip hop culture, which started off as a subgenre of black culture. But because it got diluted so much, hip hop culture is no longer black culture. But those words and the nomenclature that we use in that becomes normalized. So now it's, oh, well, he's my nigga. That's my man. And just when people, he's from Brooklyn. It's not, he's from New York. It's not about being from New York because you can be from Georgia. The only place I feel like that problem is not where a lot of Latinx people, as they like to call themselves, don't use that word as a term of endearment or try to cop out would be like urban cities in Cali, because that word from a Mexican or a Spanish dude or whatever, Puerto Rican, they know the connotation of saying that word to you. They know it's disrespect. So we as a people had to literally let people know that, yo, I know you like rap. I know you like Biggie. I know you like Jay-Z. I know you like everybody. And I know you sing all the songs and everything, but you can't say that to me. You can't. You my nigga. No, you my nigga. I grew up with niggas. You can't say that because let's imagine if I called you a spit in front of your face. What would you say? Would you think that was a term of endearment? Oh, because we grew up together, I can say that to you. No, then I would be called a racist. And that's why I was talking about the China Mac issue, because he kind of stood down on that square saying, I'm going to continue to use that word until somebody said, well, you know what? As a homie and you call me my nigga, I'm going to say you my chink. Oh, well, that's disrespectful. So what's the difference? There's no difference. There's no line. Just because you've heard it and we've allowed it as a culture to be diluted, or they use I said the A, not the ER. It's no different.
It's no different. I don't understand.
There's no difference. There's no difference whatsoever. And it's the nomenclature. Even though the English language is so perverse and amalgamated, they know what that word means. They know it. And even if there's people who come in the culture or friends, I have homies, I still have problems with people. Oh, that's my nigga. Any word can be used in a negative connotation. I can say, Fred, oh, I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, Fred, that's my man. And that's using it as a term of endearment. But I could be telling, you know what, I don't deal with that nigga, Fred, man. Man, fuck that motherfucker. Like, words can be used any way. But that particular word in the heat of an argument, it wasn't like you walked up to Devin Haney, shook his hand, yo, what's going on, nigga? No, you was in a passionate conversation and you felt like you were getting the wrong end of the conversation and you used that word as an attack. And then after you used it, you dismissed them. And went, oh, I ain't talking to you, ain't no boss. I'm talking to your pop.
Yeah, that was disrespectful. Yeah, that was
I'm not even talking to you no more. Go get your white man. And then oh, you know what? Why you missed the meeting with the big boss? Why you missed the meeting with the white man? And then the father said something else to let me know that how they really felt about it. Because at first I just said, you know what? He's Latino. He probably been saying the word nigga forever. But when he said,
what he said?
You know what? We got a partnership with Bob. We don't work for nobody like y'all. We got a partnership. So you looking at me as me and my father, or me and my business, as just something that's not on par with you. So now you let me know that word really means you're really being disrespected. You're disrespecting me on every level. But I don't feel like Bill or Devin seen it at the time because there was so much heated argument. Now, if Teofimo wasn't Latinx or whatever he is, he said Honduran or Ecuadorian, if he was white or not anyone non-black or someone that doesn't resemble them, it would be an issue to them right there because, oh, he just called me a nigga. No, this is a guy that's in our culture.
Right.
And we let culture be perverted so much where we let anybody in, and now they're able to use what was basically ours. Even though that word nigga is not the best word, but if I see you, Fred, and say, Fred, that's my nigga, we have the not the luxury, but we have the choice to use it with each other automatically or not automatically. If you don't feel comfortable, I know some people in life who don't like being called nigga from somebody who's black, and they like, yo, listen, don't call me that. I don't like that word at all. So the fact that they just said it, and then when someone decides to call him on it, guarantee he goes, oh well, I don't know why you're making a big deal because, man, like I grew up in this place and I grew up with this and I like this. I used to fuck black girls. Like he's going to make it so nonchalant, and so is the media. And that's why when I seen what Blue Blood put up, and I seen the preview for 78's joint tomorrow.
Oh, really?
And what you talk, I think tomorrow he's going to do a topic on it.
Okay, good.
And I seen you say, because I first was like, damn, wonder was Fred going to hit? Was he going to talk about the Mikey situation? But when I seen that, you're like, yo, this bull said this. I'm like, all right, well, maybe I wasn't wrong. Maybe, because I'm like, yo, when he said it, Tom just stood still. I'm like, oh, this bull was real. It had a lot of vitriol with that. And that lets you know that other people don't, like you say all the time, other fighters, other promoters, other people don't respect black fighters, black media, black people as a whole. No matter what we do, no matter how you climb, you still have that undertone notion of underlying racism that'll come out any given day.
Right.
And I'm gonna close on this before I get the song. I was in like my second year undergrad. I had a professor. Her name was Joyce. Really weird because she had two first names. Two first names really messed me up. But a white kid was in a class and he was like taking little notes and talking in class or whatever. It was a big lecture hall. And she stopped him and she said, sir, I just want you to do me this favor. If you're not going to respect me in this class, I want you to, since you're very creative because you can write notes and you can pass them on, I want you to look at me as if I'm a 67-year-old white man. Give me the same respect that you would do an older white man. If you cannot do that, please leave. And I always use that as my barometer of respect. If you want to talk to an old white man like that, don't talk to me that way. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what the topic is. And that's just in general in life. And then I best believe if Teofimo, which probably would never happen, when Teofimo was sitting there talking to Al Heyman, he wouldn't say the word nigga. If he was talking to another person and that could do something to benefit him or to not benefit him, he wouldn't kick the word nigga. Or neither his father. They wouldn't be, oh, I say nigga. No, he meant that. That was the true anger. I was hoping maybe the whole thing was staged and this might be a hype for the fight, but it's not, because that's how he really feels. He feels he's superior to Devin Haney, and they've told him that, and he also feels that way even when it comes to all those stupid belts. Because you're just this and you're not that. Neither are you. But I feel like I'm more superior because I beat a white man, and a white man is validating me. And I talked to the WBC, and they told me that I'm disputed, even though that you got this little belt over there. Doesn't mean nothing, or doesn't mean nothing because you're the one that had it. If you put that belt on a Mexican guy or another white guy, he would be, oh, I want to go show that I'm the real champ by beating him. They disrespect us on so many levels, and that's why I do like you. I love your channel for it because you call them on it, and you call and you put it out there. It might be 300-400 people in the shop at this time, whatever, and you might reach 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people on a given day, but at least it's out there. It can't never be diluted. It can't be taken down. This day right here, October 17th or 18th, whatever day it is, wherever anybody is, we're talking about an issue that is pervasive in our country. It's pervasive in our states and our cities, even down to our schools, because it's going to be probably a kid that's one day there's a little black kid having recess or having lunch or doing and talking to another Mexican, Latin, Spanish, Puerto Rican kid. Hey, what's going on, nigga? And he's going to feel like that's nothing wrong because a non-white person didn't do it. And we've been desensitized so long for that. But I'm glad you're calling people out. I appreciate you for it. I'm going to get back in the chat. But I mean, that T.O. female got to go on the list of the niggas who I ain't paying to go see.
Facts. Don't pay to see him.
And I don't. That's my last point. And I'll go. I don't know because I know you interviewed the old head Leon Muhammad before.
Yes.
And I haven't been seeing him on YouTube or whatever. But I don't know. I remember he was saying he was a personal and close advisor with Teofimo Lopez at one point. He was like had a lot of merch or something. I would like to know his opinion on it because he always has a lot to talk about with various people.
I remember that.
And he was dealing with the Tio. And then I remember after that, he was saying that he was a close advisor with the Haneys. And I remember Bill Haney shouted him out. And he said specifically, I don't care who it is. I'll go and catch a bullet with my old self for Haney. So how does he feel now? Would you feel like that was racist what they did? Or was just two guys talking, shooting and shit, kicking and shit?
Right.
Because best believe if Devin said, man, fuck out of you, spit, every news outlet would have said WBC champion or blah 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 calls this man a racial term. Should he be suspended?
Right.
And for sure, Suleiman would have been on that phone because he called that dude a spit. So I'm out, Fred.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate
it. Thank you for the call. What's up? I got you next, Mr. Henderson. What's up?
Hey, what's up, brother? Man, you got to start playing the song on some of these cats, man.
Oh, I know that shit was getting long in the motherfucker.
But no, salute to that brother, man. He was making some good points, man. But man, you gotta land that plane a lot sooner, man. Goddamn. But no, salute to that brother. I'm gonna say this, man, real quick, and then I'm gonna change gears real quick. And this comes from Dr. Henrik Clark and Dr. Claude Anderson, who quoted it from Dr. Henrik Clark. We do not have any allies, and we, as foundational Black Americans, have to understand that, and that's another, and that in itself is another thing because, some Black people seem to have an issue, when you are not accepting when you are no longer accepting the classification that white America has given you as African American. We're not African American. We are foundational Black Americans, meaning that we are indigenous to this country. Do you know that Sharice Theron is an African American? She was born in South Africa. She lives here now. She's an African American. You understand what I'm saying? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah. So anyway, we don't not have any allies, man. Also, this the upset that happened to Garcia. Man, the non-activity of these fighters is damaging, man, and that's proof of it right there.
Big time. And J-Rock last week.
I don't know why these guys, why the inactivity is what it is, and why these guys are not fighting like they should. But that right there is proof of it, man. Big time, But yeah, that's The brother did make some good points, man. If T.O. talks like that all the time, if T.O. talks like that all the time, then it doesn't matter if the person in front of you is black or white. You should say it all the time if that's how you talk. But yeah, he did make some good points. But I'm gonna jump off, man. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Appreciate you. No, I appreciate you, man. And I mean, they've been so reckless with it, man. I remember they sparred Ugas. Teofimo Senior said,
You know what? Yeah,
I have it somewhere.
when you brought that up, I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
I remember when that happened.
And on ESPN, they did it.
Yeah. So they have a history of it.
They have a history of it, man.
Yeah.
It's just time to stop. You know what I mean?
Right. And like that,
take your money away from them. Stop chasing them. Let Teofimo go be undisputed and fight who he wants to fight, and you go create your own legacy. Leave them on their own island. Let them go. Let them go. You ain't got to stop chasing them. They don't need to be chased.
Yeah, I agree, man. I remember that night Haney was on the great Bill Haney was on the show and we were talking about that, man. And I agree with you, man. We definitely could create our own. And the same example that I used that night when he was on the show about the Negro leagues, the Negro baseball leagues that flourished. And the whole point that they brought Jackie Robinson into the baseball leagues was to destroy the Negro leagues because it flourished because we supported it.
Facts.
And then when they did that, then you had black people thinking, with their ice water is colder than ours mentality, and it destroyed the Negro leagues.
Right.
But yeah, man, we gotta understand, man, we do not have any allies, and Dr. Clyde Anderson says it all the time, man. If we, do not practice group economics and be about us, man, we're gonna be in a bad position.
Yep.
For real. All right, my brother. I'm back in the chat, man.
Oh, appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. I get
my regards for sure.
All right, definitely appreciate that, brother.
What's up?
So, Fred, you had a problem with T.O. saying the word nigga?
Rephrase the question. I don't know if in that environment, I don't. That's not something in my normal life right now as a 44-year-old man that I would like go all the way on. You know what I mean? Like if I'm with my family and someone does that, I have to correct that person. And I believe in that setting because in that setting, you're not just speaking for yourself. I think you're speaking. You're representing on behalf of everybody. So Teofimo is representing non-blacks and the Haneys are representing the blacks.
Okay. I saw the the confrontation, and I think if it was because the one caller was like, oh, he said it out of anger, so it was whatever. Fred, I have a lot of respect for you, Fred, and this platform. But if we were to meet up, you being my elder, I wouldn't use that word around you. But if we got into commencing disrespect, if one of us wants to incite some physical altercation, that word is probably going to come out. So I don't think it's a thing of, put it like this. I think if the Haneys felt disrespected, they'd have pressed play. Or they'd have said something about it. I didn't even see him address it.
No, it wasn't addressed. And when you got 100 cameras on you, I think that needs to be addressed because.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I
see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's.
I see what you're saying.
They're condoning it, and now it's gonna now opens up the door for other things, you know. And if you don't address it, how can we defend you? You understand what I'm saying? Like for example, with the WBC incident when he said you can't beat no white boy. If you apologize or say something, how can we defend you? You know, you got to trust. You got to trust your people. You know, and in that moment, I think it's just incredibly important that you um uh stand up. You know, but you know it is what it is.
Fred, you don't think in the Haney's defense, maybe, being caught up in the moment, not
I'm not holding them accountable to it or anything. I'm saying what should have happened. I'm not disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm just saying in that moment with a million cameras on you, you are a trailblazer for black men. And black men should not be get disrespected like that, you know. So it's just what stand for. You know, I'm not shaking no man's hand that's throwing the N-word around. I don't care about the fight. I don't care to do business with you. To be honest with you. You know, so it's just and then it's and then the fact that it is basically an impossibility. You get what I'm saying? Like that fight ain't happening. This is just banter.
right.
You know, that man,
Right.
Bob Arum is not gonna let Teofimo Lopez. See, it's two pronged. Both of them are still waiting on a Jew to give them money. You know,
Right.
at the end of the day, they're waiting for the zone. The Haneys are waiting for the zone to give them money, and the Lopez's is waiting for ESPN to give them the money.
Right.
So at the end of the day, those people that's giving them the money to fight are in charge.
Right.
They're not in charge. You know, if I want to see a fighter actually say, you know what, I'm putting $500,000 up, and I'm going to do my own fight. I'm going to pay my opponent, put on my own show. You know what I mean? That's real independence. I mean, you guys are listening to a very independent man. You know, people say I didn't really get my credentials taken. They wanted an apology from me. You understand?
Right.
I refuse to give PBC an apology. I refuse to get an apology from Evan Cornball. What's his name? Evan Corn. What's his name? Evan Ball? Evan Corn. I refuse to give him an apology. No. I just refuse to. Golden Boy, they just that never would have worked out. But I could have had my credentials. I could still be going to fights and all that. But the fact that I chose to stand on what I believe in.
Right.
The fact that I think I'm empowering. At the end of the day, I am the freest man in boxing. If you wearing a credential around your neck, if you have a promoter, if you have a manager, you can't say the things I say. It's possible. I'm the freest man in the sport. And there's no doubt about it. You understand? And I like my positioning. You know, this channel's been more successful with me not having a credential than me having a credential. Be honest with you. What time is it in New York? It is 11:12. 2:12. It's 400 people. It's over 400 people in here right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's more successful than people do during the day. You know, if I did this show during the day, I would have over 1,000 people in here.
Yep.
You know, so it is what it is, man. So I just think it's just important that we stand on what we believe in. Thank you, Valiant. It's and that's what it is, man. And I don't budge on what I believe in. And I think I've shown that over the past years that I've had this credential. Like I don't budge. I don't care if you believe you could beat me up. I don't care if you have more money than me. I don't care if you have a credential. Fred is going to stand on what he believes in. And I think we need more people like that.
I agree. It's just this is an interesting subject matter because I hear the arguments.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the arguments and I don't know what side to be on. So, damn man, I got to be careful with what I say here. As a 32-year-old man, I'm trying to deploy that word, right? Because, like people have said, our culture has taken over the world, and people attach themselves to this thing, and people feel they have the right to say that word.
Right. They do.
Damn, Fred. I don't know. I don't even know what that. I don't even. I think I'm more aligned with you, but I'm not. I've been around where Spanish people have said the word,
Yeah.
and I felt no way about it. I'm not going to get on your live stream and not keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real here. I've been around Spanish people and I felt no way about it.
Yeah, in that, but it wasn't in that setting. You wasn't broadcasting to the world.
You're right.
You
You're
get
right.
what I'm
Where
saying?
I got to be responsible, like you said.
Yeah, you got to be responsible. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So,
But I do want to clarify something that one caller said about China Mac. China Mac don't say the N word anymore, sir, because he realized that he was offending people.
Okay.
He didn't realize that he was doing something wrong for the same things that he said, because he grew up in these neighborhoods, and his name is China Mac for a reason. But he don't use the word anymore because he don't want to offend nobody. So I just wanted to get that clear. And Mikey Garcia looked terrible.
He did.
He looked bad, Fred. He looked bad. He didn't even look like he had a real training camp. He looked fat.
Yeah, he was fat, super fat.
He looked fat, and I think if that kid, the dude he was fighting, didn't have the respect that he had for him, I think he might have been able to get him out of there.
I didn't see the fight. Interesting.
Yeah, I think he might have been able to get him out of there. I can't even. Mikey might have connected with like 2 good shots the entire fight, from what I can recall. He didn't hurt him at all. Mikey was the one getting hurt. So, yeah,
I didn't watch the fight. I cut it on the 9th round or so. So,
yeah.
I watched some of the undercard on Money Brown. Money Brown TV shows it on Instagram, so I saw that for a hot second. Shout out to Money Brown, and then I cut it on late. I think I got a boxing voice announcement notification, and then I cut that on like the 10th round, and that was it.
Fred, one more before I get out of here. So do you believe that we shouldn't use the word?
I said at the top of the show, I go back and forth on it all the time because for 2 reasons. One, of the energy that the word has in 2021, and 2, I feel I have every right to own and to use every word that's ever created. And going on this, doing my research for this film, I saw how impeccable Malcolm X's character was, and I have silent conversations with me about that word, and I also have conversations with myself about my son, and the man I want him to become. You know what I mean? And the work that I have to do, because we don't listen to that stuff in the car. We listen to Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin. I don't cut hip hop on in the car. You know what I mean? Like, so I think I have to be the man, be the example of the man, and hope that my little man, it exceeds the expectations that that God has for him, you know. So if there is such a thing. So I struggle with that, honestly. And I didn't use the word for a long time, and then I came back to using it, and now I'm at a space now where I'm having conversations with myself about the word.
Yeah, this conversation is it's funny. When the one caller from Philly, that dude's from Philly,
Okay.
but when he called
Mhm.
and I was really coming up here to let him know about himself because I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? But when the brother that followed him came on, I was like, okay. And then hearing you talk, like, yeah, maybe the word does need to. Maybe nobody needs to use the word. You know, if we can say nigga, then we can say brother.
Yeah, because it goes in line with us respecting ourselves. So,
Right,
um,
right.
yeah, it does.
Let me ask you this, Fred. I always say I got one more, but then but since we on this subject
Hmm.
about respecting ourselves,
Hmm.
did you see this stuff about these emails with damn, what the fuck is this
John
dude's
Gruden,
name?
I didn't, I didn't, I didn't.
Man, talking about having respect for ourselves on and everybody still played today. Everybody
Did,
still
did,
played today.
did John Gruden coach today?
No, he's resigned, but the
Oh, he's
problem
done. Okay.
is, yeah, he resigned, but the problem is there's a chain of emails with upper
Oh,
brass
between a bunch of people, right?
and the owners, yeah. And he's
Oh, the
saying
owners
things,
of the Raiders.
yeah, everybody's
Oh,
involved.
I know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, the Washington football team is involved, and they're having these conversations about, Gruden was mocking the Rooney Rule. He was saying things about like, you
Oh yeah,
know,
you gotta hire a black person. I mean, you gotta interview a black person, right?
yeah. But the league is like 98% black.
Well, I
So
wouldn't say
why
98, but it's a high percentage.
it's a high percentage. So, but why is there a need for incentive to interview black people?
Because we allow it, man. It's
I
it's it's
know.
it's we give them the power. We allow it. They're not taking nothing, man. You can't take nothing from a grown man. You either allow it. It's simple. You know, the check silences them. You know, last night was the example. You talking about a check. No, stick to the self-respect part. You know, I'm not shaking your hand. I'm gonna shake your dad's hand. Shit, I wouldn't have if I would the
That
conversation
was
wouldn't have got that far
disrespectful.
anyway.
Yeah,
The
that was
conversation wouldn't have got
disrespectful.
that far. It was just too disrespectful.
That
I
was
mean, Tiafimo was
disrespectful.
just too disrespectful, dog. Like it was like I mean, it's just beyond my own understanding how you're raised. And I'm gonna say this, man. I think Tiafimo Lopez Sr. is a terrible father.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
and the reason why I say that is because of a couple things. It's a telltale, and you guys pay attention. How he doesn't have respect for people that disagree with him. And two, uh he's a depressing kid. Remember I told you years someone will remember this. I said he's gonna have a nervous breakdown at some point. And the man said he's thought about committing suicide 2 or 3 times.
Yep.
He didn't have a relationship with his dad for a couple of camps. Tiafimo hasn't, I should say, I'm going to put the phrase in the correct terms. Tiafimo Sr. hasn't been a great father to his son. And it comes out through Tiafimo Lopez. I'm sure we saw that top rank special that they did, and it's blatantly obvious. You know, he got Tiafimo Lopez Sr. got some crackhead twitches to him. You know what I mean? He looked like he shakes a little bit. He's kind of
He
off.
looked burnt out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's off center a little bit. You know what I mean? Um, so maybe had drug abuse in the past. So when you have that drug abuse in the past, that it definitely can alter your parenting for sure. Um, and you know, I do wish them healing. You know, I I want them to have a great relationship, but you know, it's I, Lincoln wouldn't dare utter that word. Lincoln wouldn't have that. Lincoln will never. I'm going to tell you guys this. Lincoln will never ever disrespect another human being in front of his father. And Kennedy as well. It's not happening, y'all. It's not happening. It's not happening, dog. No, it's not happening. And that's the accountability that we got to have. Those are the expectations that I have for my kids. They're not going to disrespect another human being in front of their parents. They're going to do it on the courtyard and all that. You know, they're going to be kids, but in front of their parents? I don't care how old you are. I would never curse in front of my grandfather. He died when I was 17, but I was cursing at 17, you know, playing basketball and stuff. But I would never talk like that in front of my grandparents. Let me read this super chat. We got someone waiting, so I gotta get you out of here. Roland Curtis, chat sidebar. It seems that FBA, fundamentally black Americans, deny the slave ships from Africa, and Ados claims it. But if you deny the slave ships, then you deny black Americans like Beyonce, who trace her ancestry through American slavery back to Nigeria. Champion Heart, FBA knows the some. Let me read that. FBAs know that some of us came here on the slave ship. The fact is, a lot of us were already here. Roland Curtis, please do your research before you post. Well, we gotta do a show on that one day. Frank Jackson, are you real? Are you real? All right. Cool. What's up, Frank?
What's up, Fred? How you
Hey,
doing, man?
I'm feeling good, man. What you got on?
Listen,
what you got
man.
on this topic tonight?
All right, what I got on this topic is Tio's real disrespectful, and I like Bill Haney, how he positioned his son, how they're making money and doing all that, but at some point you got to start moving like a promotional company. You know what I'm sitting there letting Tio disrespect you like that, you and your son, and try to son you. Now, when you hear, I know he's under Bob Arum, and Bob Arum had to spank him. He would never talk to Bob Arum like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to walk away. I think, a lot of us in the chat are saying we wouldn't allow anybody to speak to us like that. But people in positions of power allow that. Now, your last caller brought up John Gruden, right? How he had all these emails, and the first damn thing you saw on TV was Mike Tirico, and we had Tony Dungy. He's not a racist. If he says he's not a racist, I gotta believe him. Excusing him. You know what I'm saying? We do that all the fucking time. No, there's no excuses. People in position got to stop looking for a check and stand up. That's why people feel they could come out here and disrespect us and do everything they can, because those who can speak are worried about, if I say something, I won't get this check. We got the Stephen A. Smiths. He got more heat for Kyrie Irving than he do for John Gruden. You know what I'm saying? These guys in position on TV, they are not for us. Just like Kwame Brown was saying. They're go along, get along people. Not that I agree with everything Kwame Brown says, because I don't. But he's right on that issue where these people are put in positions, and they know they're always never going to support us, never going to stand up for us. On TV, you got a number of black sportscasters that all they do is disrespect black athletes all over the tube. But Devin Haney says, I'll never let a white boy beat me. The WBC, everybody got things put out. Oh, he's racist. Apologize now. We're investigating. I wish he would have never done it. That's how you feel? That's how you feel. Basically, he was saying Lomachenko can't beat me. That's the only white guy in his division that was in that conversation. But he was forced to apologize. You know what I'm saying? They're in position to move as a boss. I need them to continuously do that. And that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening, Fred. And all these people talking about, if they grew up in that way. No, because you did not hear Tiafimo. He was beef with Lomo. He's beefing with Cambooses now. Did he ever drop the N-word? Did he ever call him a nigger? Nah, nigga, you can't mess with me. Did he ever? It only came out when it was Devin Haney. So don't say he talks like that. He only talks like that when he's going against another black fighter. So fuck T.O., fuck his dad. I hope he loses to Cambosis. And Devin Haney, Bill Haney, stop letting this man disrespect you, chasing him for a fight. Fuck him. I wish they would have gone ahead and fought with Gary Russell. You know, that's my point, Fred. These people that have a little bit of position, they need to stand up as black people and voice our issues instead of looking for a check. John Gruden gave a bitch ass excuse. Oh, yeah, I didn't mean anything bad. I'm doing this. And then immediately, Tony Dungy, Mike Tirico, Stephen A. Smith, all these fucking coons went on there. Oh, he's not a racist. I've worked with him. He was my coach. I did Monday Night Football with him. The fuck does that mean? Those emails told you how he really felt. And the bad thing about it is, what are the other emails about? He wasn't the only one. An email, when somebody does some shit like that, there's another worse email where somebody tries to top that joke. Oh, he got big lips. Oh, he got this. He got this. Where's the rest of them? Roger Goodell won't let that out, just like he didn't let the shit out with the Patriots. He's going to cut it. John Gruden was the fall guy. He fell on the sword, threw it out like nobody else said anything. But that's my call, Fred. Thanks for taking my time. And listen, all those in power in us, we need to hold them accountable. Fuck that. They do us wrong, call it. Don't look for a check. Call it out. I hope Dav and Bill Haney stop letting this shit happen anymore. Call the shit out, Fred. Appreciate you for giving me some time. I hope you understand what I'm saying, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Man, what a show. Yeah, man. This is through your research. He got paid $1,000 a month, you know, from the Nation of Islam, and then that stopped when he got suspended. And obviously he made some do speaking engagements, but when he died or murdered, when he was murdered, he had well less than $1,000 to his name. And you say, wow, that's sad. I think that's a credit to him not wanting, shall we use the term sell out, you know, and yeah, man, it's the Nation of Islam have made millions of dollars off of Malcolm X's contributions, you know, from the mosque to the newspaper that they have. The newspaper that the Nation of Islam, the final call that they have was created in Malcolm X's basement. So you know, it's it is what it is, man. Yeah. Go watch Nine Wives, man. Go watch. I clicked the link. Go watch Nine Wives, man. It's I got a documentary coming out in the next few years or so. It's not done yet. I got plenty more interviews to do, but it's gonna come out at some point. Yeah, Malcolm X represented us well. He literally died for us, man. Got murdered for us. He knew he was gonna die. He knew the sand was running out in the hourglass. Imagine that. Imagine knowing you're gonna die and believing that the man that's gonna kill you is gonna look just like you. Man, damn. Insane, man. But this was a hell of a show, man. This was a hell of a show. Kyle was out doing his own little thing. I shouldn't say little, but he out doing this thing. And I don't know what Kyle. Hopefully you having fun, Kyle. We totally appreciate you, man. And tomorrow we got another good show tomorrow, man. Floyd out here hating on Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Floyd is a clown, dog. Floyd. Floyd is right now a liability in boxing, man. I don't see him contributing to boxing, you know, but people gonna say he is. He had, you know, everybody want that network money, you know. Networks kind of ruined it, you know. So, but yeah, I appreciate you, Soji. Soji told us to play this, so I want to say thank you guys, man. This was I knew this was going to be an important show. You know, I'm looking forward to having this conversation with the Haneys at some point as it pertains to that. And I'll say this just to leave us here. I know people are going to compare this to the WBC and all that, and it actually came up in the show a couple of times. I will be here, Fred. Floyd, like yourself, is free at boxing. Yeah, right. Oh man, too funny. It's no stop. We shouldn't hold the WBC accountable. We shouldn't hold Mauricio Suleiman accountable. We should hold ourselves accountable. I think that's the bigger picture, is holding ourselves accountable. We always minimize ourselves when it comes to what we believe is someone that can help us. I'm talking about us as a whole. And I think we got to hold our ground, hold our water. We just spoke of Malcolm X. He died broke. You know, I wish a part of me wish I was born in the 60s, because I would have donated to Malcolm and I was born and my family originated from Harlem. Shit, I would have been a huge asset based off of the wealth I have today. You know, I would have been a huge asset to Malcolm X, you know, and I'm thankful and grateful for his sister Ella. Ella was a great asset to Malcolm X, man. And yeah, she doesn't get enough credit. So man, it is what it is. So yeah, man, it's yeah, Obama did a lot of stuff. He did some good things, he did some bad things, you know. I had a conversation with my business partner. I was at his house watching the fight. It was somebody's fight. And it was during the time of the election. So it probably was the Earl Spence fight. And I said to him, D, put this in perspective. His name is Derek. Put this in perspective, D. We had a president for 8 years. From 2004, 2008 to 2016, we had a black president. And guess what? People are marching in the streets protesting George Floyd. Man, Obama should have put his foot down, man. Obama should have put his foot down, man, and we would have we could have got a lot further, man. But I don't need no more inspiration. I mean, I need inspiration, yes, but I want tangibles, dog. Like, I'm just being honest, tangibles, man. I want the results. I want qualified immunity gone. I don't want no well, we gonna take this money out of the budget and put it in a nonprofit. Nah. I want tangibles. I want these cops being held accountable, man. If these cops knew that they were gonna get fired and do jail time, it would cut that shit down by like 80%, 90%. You know why we're here every day? Because we're afraid to go to jail. That's why. That's why. If it was no jail, it will be anarchy. Half of us wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? We'll be out robbing and stealing. You know what I mean? But well, it wouldn't be robbing and stealing. Sovereign land, Fred. Sovereign land, right? It wouldn't be no stealing. It would just be, you know. So it's we can have that conversation for another. I appreciate you, Soldier, telling me to play the song. So I love y'all, man. I truly appreciate y'all. And tomorrow's show is gonna be good again too, man. Floyd is such a hater, man. Floyd is he's so tacky, dog. He's so tacky. I love y'all, man.
Come this way before, travel with open door. Circumstances navigate the path, and life happened all so fast. No, they got lonely. Sometimes you see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me. Cause I know This is where I
am destined to be.
I'm not ready to
Hopefully the Dodgers can get a win. West Virginia, Valiant, Jay Boog, Soji, we thank you, man. Play the song, Fred. D Ford, Brent, Macadon, Champion Heart. Delante, what's up, big homie? Thank you, man. Thank you. Joe Garcia, Brent Jones, D Ford, Roland, hey, Macadon, hey, Ahmad King. This topic was exhausting for me, man. This shit was exhausting. God. Every time we talk about race or something, it just exhausts me, man. I'm exhausted after this show. You know what I mean? INO Boxing, man. Thank you, man. Dr. Hook, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Black Warrior Spirit, thank you. Appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for coming in here, man. Really means a lot, man. Tell a friend, man. Share this video. If we don't fight listen, if Teofimo Lopez fights Kambosos and then Lomachenko, good. Let him go do it. Who cares? Let them have a rematch. Thank you, West Virginia. I put everything I had into that film, man. We're in Atlanta, Georgia this week in the Oscar qualifying film festival. It's the highest honor you can get in the film festival circuit. We're a finalist. If we win it, it's a big fucking deal. I tell you that, damn. It's a big deal if we win this one. It's gonna be hard, man. We up against some of the greatest films of the year, so we'll see. Yeah, man. It's we'll find out this weekend. Oh yeah, Teofimo. Yeah. Last time, y'all. Hell no. Nope. The devil is a lie. Hey. I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's always what you do. Hey. Things you gotta do. Hey. It is a one-of-one painting. It is a one-of-one painting. You know what I mean? This side's in black and white in front of the Apollo. Slauson and Crenshaw on the other side. You know what I mean? So it's, you know what I mean? It's pretty big too. They look small, but this shit is it's fucking ginormous. Love y'all, man. Appreciate it. So one-on-one, man. I had it specially made for the shop, man. You know, give the art some culture, some character, all that good stuff, man. Appreciate you, man. Love y'all, man. Mayana. I see y'all. I'm about to say the N-word. You know, I ain't said the N-word all night outside of saying it within the context of this show. I got better, y'all. Love y'all, man.